Okay, so I just drew this in my sketchbook with Copics, which I don't normally use. And now I want to use all the art supplies I never usually use. But it turns out I have a lot of art supplies I don't usually use. And honestly, I have the decision-making skills of a rock, so we're gonna leave it up to fate. And by fate, I mean this cup. Because surely Cinema Roll is gonna make a better choice than me, right? Okay, so Cinema Roll has failed us, and oh look, we got alcohol markers! What? Okay, so I know that kind of, sort of, maybe, possibly could have seemed like I was cheating. But it's not cheating if you're the one that's making the rules. Plus, the whole point of the video is to use materials I don't normally use to draw something, and I use pencils all the time. They're like the only thing I ever use. And even still, I decided to do the outline with pencil. Aren't I so nice? Look at that. Alright, so we still have to talk about the markers, which is absolutely 100% the only thing I picked out from the cup. But before we talk about that, let's talk about what I decided to draw. I actually picked a theme for the spread of like warm, cozy, sleepy vibes, and this is actually something that I do when I don't really know what to draw specifically, because it's easier to come up with ideas if I already have a theme as like a springboard, if that makes sense. So you can see the first character I drew was like in a big oversized sweater sort of outfit, and this one's supposed to be like under a blanket, so it's cozy and warm. Does it look like a blanket? I'm still not 100% sure on that. And then this drawing is a girl resting her head against a pillow. And this one turned out to be my favorite, I think, out of all three of them. I think she really captured the vibe I was going for of like calm and serene. Plus, I really like the way I did the hair on this one. I don't usually do it this way, but I mean, go off, I guess. I did do one fully referenced, and then one where I just referenced the pose, and then the one with the blanket I didn't use a reference. So I guess it does help to use a reference. But it is now time to get on to the markers. But why don't I ever use my markers? My alcohol markers specifically? Well, because they don't play nice with other materials, they always want to bleed through, the pens don't work, and they'll also bleed if you don't use the right pen, and the pencil smudges, and they're a little bit frustrating for me, and sometimes I don't want to do all of that. But these were pretty great, even if they did bleed through, so I should probably use alcohol markers more often. These markers specifically were good because they came from a set from Five Below, so they're not too expensive. It was a 12 color set, so I knew I was going to only have a few colors to choose from, but that was actually good for like a limited color palette, which limited color palettes are actually good for someone like me who's still learning about colors, because even if you don't really know what you're doing, you can kind of be sure that things are going to probably work out. Plus, it sort of forces you to use colors in a way that maybe you wouldn't normally. Like, I would have never used yellow for the shirts if it weren't because of the limited color palette, and that's actually pretty good. It also means that everything is more cohesive naturally because you're using only a few colors, so you don't really have to worry about anything. And so, using the materials I have and just shopping my own art supplies was actually kind of fun, and I definitely think I should do it more often. It's definitely a good way to use all the stuff that I have and not just like let it go to waste because I'm too scared to use it. Plus, it's an opportunity to learn to use some of these materials that I never really learned how to use. Especially recently, when I've been trying to learn about color, and then I see someone using an art material and having beautiful colors, and then I'm like, oh, I should get that. That's gonna help me have beautiful colors. But it's not a materials issue, it's a skill issue. You know? And I'm talking to myself, by the way, when I say that. But yeah, I think that at the very least, this is a good way to get out of that mindset that buying more stuff is gonna make me a better artist. Because in reality, the only way to get better is by stepping out of my comfort zone and practicing more. As hard as that may be. So, stop buying art supplies, kids. Because money can't save you from this one. In the end, this was actually pretty fun to do, and I definitely think I want to try it again. Hopefully, next time we won't get pencil as the first thing we pick from the cup. Anyway, that's it for today. Go pick up a pencil, and see you next time, I guess.